Hi everyone, my name is Heather Autumn and welcome to my channel. Alright, so today I'm actually filming during the day, which is incredible, and I'm super happy because that means less time that I have to worry about adjusting lighting and things in editing. So I'm hoping that all of you have made it through the winter storm safely. Fortunately for me, we got some rain, but even that wasn't that bad. Lots of wind for the night, and then that was like gone by morning, and now it's blue skies, no ice, no snow. So one of the advantages, I guess, to living in Massachusetts, or at least where I am, I don't know how Western Massachusetts did, but where I am, it's just like a cool day. So today I'm stoked because not only am I filming with some natural lighting, which is lovely, I'm also going to be showing you how to make champagne cupcakes, because when I think of the new year, I think of champagne. And so this is a really great recipe. It has champagne not only in the frosting, but in the cake batter itself. So I am going to show you how to make that. It starts with a champagne reduction. It's a little involved, and so today I'm actually going to be using my mixer, but if you don't have a mixer, don't worry about it. A hand mixer will work just as well, and you can even do this by hand, but your arm is probably going to fall off by the end of it. It's a lot of stirring, and especially when you cream things, which is, you know, causing the butter and the mixture to become aerated. That definitely takes some arm power. So I hope you're ready for a workout, early start to the New Year's workout regime, or you have a mixer. So if you really like this recipe and you're one of those people who likes to see it all written out, please check the descriptions below, because I'm gonna have it all written out and posted on my blog, which I'll have linked below. Let's do this thing while the sun is in its peak. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the entirety of all of our ingredients at some point, but for now we need to get our champagne reduction going, because that's probably going to take the longest to do. So the champagne that I'm using, I just got some Corbel. It's a Brut. It wasn't super expensive, and I honestly wouldn't recommend getting a super expensive champagne for this, because you're going to be reducing it and pretty much cooking off the majority of the alcohol. Don't expect people to have trouble driving home if they ate all of these cupcakes. You're going to take your champagne and very carefully measure out 1.5 cups of it, or your reduction. Now this reduction is going to be used in both the cupcakes and the frosting, so it's kind of a vital, important part of this whole thing. So make sure you definitely do this step. Don't leave it out, because it's kind of what this whole recipe is based off of. Alright, so for this step, which is pretty much the most important step, you want to put all of your 1.5 cups of champagne into a small little sauce pot, or whatever you call that, and you want to put it over medium heat, and you want to reduce that to 3/4 cup. Don't want it to boil, so definitely watch it, and you'll notice how it reduces. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that did take some babysitting in terms of making sure that the champagne didn't boil, but also reduced. But I have it now, it's all cooled off. I let it sit out at room temperature until it's safe to put in the fridge, and now it's out and ready to go. So the next thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and you also want to start lining your cupcake tins. I'm using these really cute golden wrappers, and hopefully those will look nice. So while your oven is preheating, let's get started on the cupcakes. All right, so for slightly more complicated recipes like this one, I always encourage people to measure out all of their ingredients ahead of time and set them aside, because that's gonna make your cooking process a lot less stressful. You're not gonna be missing ingredients, and everything is pre-measured, so you don't have to like wonder where that tablespoon went and wash it in between waiting for cooking times and things like that. So quickly, I'm gonna go over the ingredients. This is just for our cupcakes, and again, this is all written on my blog, which is in the descriptions below. Okay, so starting off, you're gonna want 1.25 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, at room temperature, just because you're going to be blending this in. 3/4 cup of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, which you can kind of see there, 2 large eggs, your champagne reduction, which you're gonna have to trust me, it's in here, and 2 tablespoons of milk. All right, so let's get started. Okay, first steps here is to combine the flour, which we have here, with the baking powder and the salt. So we're just gonna combine that really quick, just like that. And we're gonna set this aside. Okay, next I have the whisk attachment to my mixer, and I'm going to add in the sugar, the oil, and my butter. Next, I'm gonna beat all these ingredients on low for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. I wanna scrape down the sides and just get everything in the center, and I wanna add my first egg. And next you want to combine the egg with vanilla extract and add that in. And mix till it's just combined. Next you want to add about half of your dry ingredients. And mix until it's just combined. Next you want to add your milk and a half cup of your champagne reduction. Also, the batter might look a little curdled, which you can kind of see, and if that's the case, don't worry, that's normal. Next, add the rest of your dry ingredients. And scrape down the sides of the bowl. Alright, so now that your batter is done, you want to take your cupcake pan and fill each cup 3/4 of the way full and then bake it in your oven anywhere from 14 to 16 minutes. When I get a range like that, I try to shoot for the middle, so I'm going to be popping these in the oven for about 15 minutes. All right, so I'm starting to think that I might need to invest in some smaller actual cupcake tins. This is, I guess, technically a muffin tin, and because of that, it's bigger, and I never really thought of that. This recipe is supposed to make 24 cupcakes, but because I'm using a muffin tin, it's gonna be making 12. So with 15 minutes on the clock, I'm gonna go and tackle some dishes here and start measuring and getting ready to make our frosting. So our cupcakes are out of the oven. They look great. All right, so I'm gonna let them rest in their pan for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna move those to a wire rack. And while we let those cool completely, I'm gonna go and get started on our frosting. The reason you want your cupcakes to be cooled completely is because if they're warm in any way, that frosting's gonna hit that and start to melt, and that's not gonna be cute. That's what you see on like the baking shows where that sends the person home. All right, so the sun is starting to set. I've been just kind of drawing this out today. I had butter that was supposed to be at room temperature and it wasn't, so I was letting that chill out, and now the sun is starting to set. So the next step of this is to make our frosting. So I'm gonna walk you through the ingredients and we'll get this started. The first thing you want is 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter, which is basically a stick and a half. You wanna bring that up to room temperature, and that's one of the reasons that I am recording so late. So the next thing you'll need is a 1/4 cup of shortening. Now I use Crisco as my shortening base. It's just something that my mom used to use for shortening, and I've kind of picked that up. So you're gonna need, again, a 1/4 cup of Crisco or shortening. Next up, you're gonna need 4 cups of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar. It's the same thing, just different names. And again, you're gonna need 4 tablespoons of that reduced champagne that you did in the very beginning. Again, you're gonna have to trust there's that much in there. I promise you that if you've reduced it to the proper amount, that's what you're gonna have left over. And lastly, you're gonna need 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And now that you know all that's going into this frosting, let's get started. Okay, to make the buttercream frosting, what you're gonna do is take the shortening and the butter, and you're going to put those in your mixer, or if you're brave enough to do it by hand, you're going to want to mix those together until smooth. Okay, first thing you want to do is add your butter and your shortening. All right, so once that's combined, you want to add half of the sugar and start mixing again. All right, so now that it's really incorporated, what you want to do is add 3 tablespoons of your champagne reduction. So 1, 2, 3. And you want to mix well until combined. So next you want to add your powdered sugar and add what's left of your champagne reduction as needed to get the right consistency. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is put it into a piping bag, and let's get these cupcakes frosted. All right, so in order to frost these, you're going to need a long cup or a glass or something like that. I got this at the local just grocery store in the baking section. It's a baking bag and it has these little cute application things. However, if you don't want to go and spend the money, you can also just get like a Ziploc bag and put the frosting in the Ziploc bag and cut off the tip in one of the corners. So please don't feel like you have to go and really invest money in this. This was about $12, I think. What you're gonna do is just take your bag and you just want to move it to the tip. Pop it through. Boop, just like that. Okay, so now you have your bag attached to your tip. Then you wanna take your bag, put it in your glass or your mug, just like that, and roll down your edges so that it's round and that the inside is hollow, and that's where you're gonna put your frosting. So then you just spoon it out of your mixing bowl and right into there. All right, just like that. If you're using a spoon, I like to use the back side of the spoon. And when you've got a bunch in there, you just squeeze that towards the tip. Just like that. All right, so now that you have your frosting bag, you want to twist the top, and you're going to just start from the center and out. Just like that. I like to garnish it with some sprinkles. These are in gold wrapping, so the color is gold, and I have some gold sprinkles, so I'm gonna put those on top. All right, so the cupcake is all done, and now we get to try it. Okay, so this wouldn't be a good cooking episode if I didn't try what I made, so here it goes. This is a very subtle cupcake. If you're looking to have that hit in the face kind of champagne taste, this is not it. It's very subtle, it's sweet. It's a good cupcake, it's just very, very subtle. So one way you can fix that if you really want to have that impact of champagne is to go and maybe poke some holes in the top of the cupcakes and brush with just some outright champagne. That'll definitely get the taste in there. It'll also make for a moister cupcake. But overall, I don't think this is bad, it's just different. I do think it's a very good cupcake. It is sweet, it is nice, it's pretty, it does have an interesting flavor in that you know that there's something going on. I don't know if I would sit there and go, oh my gosh, that's champagne. But I can definitely taste that it's not a bland cupcake, it's just different. So if you make it, please let me know in the comments below what you think, especially if you decide to add extra champagne to it by putting little holes in the top and just brushing it with extra champagne. I'm not disappointed in it. I guess I just didn't know what to expect, and this is a very, I want to say timid flavor profile. It's very subtle. So even if you didn't like the rest recipe. I hope you like this channel, and I ask that you please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It helps because it lets YouTube know that my videos are being watched, which means that it exposes it to more people. And also too, I have 2023 all planned out, and I have tons of new trips to take, recipes to do. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I don't know what your goals are for next year. Drop them in the comments below if you feel like it. But either way, I do hope you have an amazing 2023, and make sure to start that first day off strong. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful next year. All right, bye.